We are testing this to see if we can go live. I don't know if there's anybody out there that wants to come chat, but if so, we're giving it a shot. I'm trying to figure out how to see my own stream online. Let's see. So if anybody's there, knock, knock, and let me know you are there. Okay, how do I find my own channel? There we go. For watching, it says somebody's there. Okay, give me a minute. I'm trying to figure out how I'm recording. I'm doing the live stream on my phone, and I'm trying to figure out how to see the chat. Thank you so much. I think I found it. Yay! Hi, Philippe and Valerie. Thank you so much, Liz. Hi. This is my first time trying to do anything like this, so let's see. I don't see anything moving on my screen. Oh, I guess there's a little bit of delay getting over to the computer. Can you see everything okay? I have nothing really Hi, Emma. I have nothing fancy to do. I was trying to think of something simple so that if I muffed this up, I could do it and still chat with people. So I figured inking was something that it would be really hard to muff up. Okay, this is kind of freaky to see yourself doing something over there on the screen. I wanted to be able to record with the webcam, but I couldn't figure out the system, so I'll do that another day. I've been wanting to do this all week long, and my husband, bless his heart, has been working from home all week, so our house is so small, there's no place you can really go and record without it carrying to the rest of the house. The Victorian Edge, hi, welcome. Well, yeah, it's not that I can't muck up inking, but I have more of a chance of getting it right if I'm doing this. My hat's off to the people that are doing all these really intricate projects live. I can do them when I record because that's what editing is for. And by the time I'm done with all these things, of course, my hands will be completely brown, but that's what the pumice stone is for. I have all these little tiny images and I really want to use them up. They're leftovers from a bunch of custom projects. And so I figure I will make a bunch of paper clips with them, but I like to have them inked up first. Yeah, trying to think of what else simple things I could do. I suppose I could do some simple gluing of napkins on some book pages, which is one of those make-aheads. Yeah, I owe videos for make-aheads. I owe videos for some more visits to places to go get some copyright-free images. And I do have more places to take you, but the last month, I have been being a technical whiz kid, getting my new website up and running, and then deciding that I wasn't going to try and sell everything via the website because all the VAT fees to send anything out of the United States to any place else in the world were just they were mind-boggling. They just kind of broke my brain. So I decided I'd go ahead and reopen my Etsy store, which then was another set of hoops to jump through. Then I wanted to do a newsletter, which should have been really simple. But then there's all these regulations that you have to follow on that too. So I'm really tired of doing technical stuff. Liz, I think that's going to appeal to me too, to do the live. I just need to find more things that I can do live and not worry about the editing, because I spend like 2 days editing and I don't want to do that. I want to have more time to work on stuff. Oh, pizza, bring something good back to share, okay? I'm starving. I should have gone ahead and eaten a little bit first and then come and sat down. But when my husband said he was going to be gone for a couple hours, I'm like, hey, I know what I can do now. I love it when he can work from home. But like I said, the house is small and voices carry. And I expect that people are hoarse at the end of doing a live. Emma, are you hoarse when you get finished doing a live? Do you feel like your voice is completely gone? So what is everybody working on lately? I have a clean studio and a clean house because we hosted Mother's Day here last weekend. And so it's doing all the technical stuff was good because I didn't make a mess, but now I've got itchy fingers to get to work on a project. and I only have one custom project left that I have to work on, you know, on a deadline, and then I can work on some fun stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of eco printing to kind of build up my papers, and then I'm doing a lot of scanning to fill up my Etsy shop with some digital design work. Oh no, Liz, no, you don't understand. The reason the reason it is clean is because my in-laws were coming to visit. That was the only reason. My husband and I are both big clutterers, and we have a very high tolerance for clutter, and it's just the two of us and the big dog here. Let me tell you, the clutter piles up fast. And it felt so good, though, to have everything clean. All the flat surfaces were clean, and all the laundry was done and put away. And it's like, wow, we've kept it clean for a whole week, which may be a record for us. It's like I'm reverting back to being a teenager and not wanting to pick up after everything. So I've got a freezer full of leaves and flowers that I am dying to do some eco print with, but unexpectedly here in California, we have had winter weather. It's really kind of unbelievable. Whoops, don't want to lose the chat there. So how do I do scanning for Etsy? Well, first you have to understand how your scanner works, and I'm usually pretty well with that kind of stuff, but the new color laser printer that we bought with a scanner did not want to scan at a high DPI. So you do need to make sure that you're scanning at a high 300 DPI so that when people are adjusting images and printing them, they can, still get a really nice printout. So I have been scanning like crazy a lot of my eco prints and my distress spray leaf prints, and I'll be putting those up probably just as paper packs. And then it's going to be a matter of diving into Photoshop and playing with a lot of these images that I have in these various sizes. Let's see, not quite sure. Okay, I'm frozen on my side. Weird. AC on in Wisconsin? That's unbelievable. Yeah, and it's like windy outside. We have gale warnings right now, which is bizarre. I live about 10 minutes from the ocean. Yeah, so we had 2 inches of rain this week, which, I mean, I'm always grateful for the rain because we always have such a hard time getting enough water for the plants. And we do not do any irrigation. I do native plants in my garden. So they have to be tough plants. We did a lot of water planning before we did any planting. When we bought this place, there was nothing really growing, so we were able to do a lot of the planning ahead of time for what the water, where we wanted the water to go. So we redirect all the rainwater, and we don't run any sprinklers. So gradually, things are taking off, but we had to do a lot of planning ahead of time so that when we get that rain in the winter, we have a couple months where we get a lot of rain, and then the rest of the year we really don't, although we get fog here. So I'm trying to figure out how to capture that fog drip. Emma, how warm is it in England for you? I mean, I always picture England as this gloomy place, and I know it's not always, but all the shows that we watch on Acorn are always showing, the gloomy, gray kind of backgrounds. And I know it's not that. I know you guys get the sunshine, but I'm okay with having it kind of cool here, because when summer hits and we hit 100 degrees, I'm going to have the AC going all the time. And the older I get, the less well I handle all the heat. Bye, Victorian Age. Thanks for stopping by. Emma, what are you working on lately? Okay, am I going out of frame? I guess I am when I stretch forward, huh? Let's see. Better. Okay. Get the hang of this. Boy, the more you do this, the more you're going to realize how great some of these other people are at doing this sort of thing. 80% is gloomy. Oh, dear. It's funny. When we sold our house in San Jose, which is on the other side of the mountain from where we live now, we came over here and we knew we would be dealing with foggy areas. especially the closer you got to the ocean. Where we are, we have a lot of sun, but the closer you get to the ocean, it gets foggy. And then there's this one little pocket where the fog and the gloom are there, and it's almost like England. It's just so, I don't know, most of the time it's just kind of blah, and your garden doesn't really grow, and you don't feel good because there's not enough sun. Not much lately, huh? Well, I have one more of those great big jumbo juicy journals to do, and then I'm going to do a lot of digital design work. And then because hopefully the summer weather will be here, I'll be doing a lot of eco printing. And I'm trying to build up stock. Everything, I mean, I'm very grateful. Things have sold as soon as I've made them, but I'm trying to build up my stock so that I can have like a summer pop-up studio sale here at the house, which I think would be a lot of fun, but I'm going to have to get ahead of the game and get things made. Liz, what are you working on? Anything fun? My goodness, 10 people watching. That, you guys, that's really, thank you, thank you. Say hi if you're here. I'm grateful for people watching my very first live stream. I can tell I'm going to have to pay some attention to how I want to set things up to do this in the future. Oh, Liz, you are? Are you doing it today? Can I come over and see you next? Let's see. I need to come over here and see if I can find you. Does that work? It did. Okay. Liz, I've got you up. So 6 p.m. what time? 6 p.m. Eastern, Western, Central. I've got your channel up so I can go over and see. Okay, 6 p.m. So 3 p.m. my time here. I'm in California, so 3 p.m. my time. I will make sure to pop over there and see what you are doing. Thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, Emma, I really appreciate it. I know I was trying to figure out what the best time was to try and pop on to catch people in the various time zones. And I guess there's really no good time you can catch everything, but thanks for taking a chance and stopping by and saying hello. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the thumbs up. Those of you that don't know, boy, comments and thumbs ups are some of the best ways you can help your favorite YouTube channels. Even if you don't, chat in the lives, if you go back through and you hit a thumbs up for a video or you leave a comment, that tells YouTube that you like what that particular channel is doing, and it does encourage them to push your videos perhaps a little bit more if you get enough interaction. Vicky, hi. Thank you for stopping in. My very first time. Oh, see, Zoe heard Vicky was here, so she had to bark and say hello. When I change my tone of voice, Zoe goes crazy. She really hates it during baseball season because we get so excited and so mad at the screen and we yell, and she's sleeping very nicely, and then she, has to jump up and bark and protect whatever is making us scream. Okay, Vicky, this really is a lot more difficult than I thought to do this sort of thing. I tell you what, Carla's got it down to a science. I'm going to have to go do some studying, but I was telling people earlier that my husband was finally out of the house for a couple of hours, so I thought I could pop on and give this a try. Oh, thank you, Valerie. I've got some make-aheads that I do want to do. Hopefully tomorrow I can do some videos on those and get some more posted. I really enjoy doing those. I need to rebuild my own stock since like I said, I'm pretty well sold out of everything. And I've just been so busy doing all the technical stuff. I am really tired of being a website designer and learning all about the GDPR and VAT and all that kind of legalities. Sometimes it's tough being a rules follower. I know there's a lot of people that do things and they're not following all the legal requirements, but I'm chicken. Oh, Liz, thank you. I am so lucky with my studio space. It took us a year to find this house. When we left a really big house and I had a huge office, I was doing just writing then. I really wasn't doing much in the way of art. So I had a huge office for all my books and my writing stuff. And we spent a year in an apartment while we were trying to find this house. All my art supplies were packed up for a year. I didn't think it was going to take us that long to find a house, so I didn't really keep many things out. And then when we found this place, it had lots of land, which we wanted, but the house itself was just so tired. And I could not picture any of the places being an art studio. I just did not think I was going to have a happy place. So it was 2 years before we even started on my studio, and I feel so lucky. Liz, that's kind of what I decided to do. I figured once I understood all the legalities, I decided that my Etsy shop would be for US and worldwide sales for just my digital items. And then my physical items will be in the shop on my website. It seemed to make the most sense. Etsy seems to do a pretty good job of handling all the VAT fees. And I think more people are going to be interested in the digital designs overseas than they would be. Nobody's going to want to pay the shipping for some of these things. And then if somebody overseas wants a journal, a custom journal or something, they can contact me and we can make arrangements on our own to set something like that up. But it just took so many days and days of trying to figure out what the right way to set things up were and set up the shop on WordPress and WooCommerce. 40 minutes video where you stenciled 3 leaves on a page. Oh, see, I feel better, Emma. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I figured this was something, like I said, it'd be too hard to mess it up too much. I mean, they're just little tiny prints I can reprint. Vicki, I agree. You really have to follow the rules and not want to be one of these people that takes a chance that they're not going to get caught. I don't like to live like that. I'm a big rule follower. Liz, you're right. I did underestimate when I first started making my big juicy journals and somebody asked me to customize one for her. I really did undercharge what I did on that first one. And she loved it so much that she ordered several more from me. And then I told her I had to raise the price. And she said, well, of course you do, because you weren't charging nearly enough. So I was lucky enough that she was willing to pay the extra money for it. Emma, yeah, that's what people were saying. Between the customs and the VAT fees, it was really scary to think about how much, if you charge, say, $100 for a journal, but by the time you get done with the VAT and the customs and the shipping, it's ridiculous, the prices. So I figure I would just do it one-on-one. I'll put a note up. People can contact me for custom work, and we can figure out ahead of time what something might cost if they want to do it. But I have a lot of digital designs that I'm anxious to get up in the shop, and I think that'll be easy enough to at least get things started. And then I just have to make stuff. I've spent the last month doing all this computer things, and I just have not had time to make new things. So this at least feels like I'm making something. Yeah, Vicki, I'm not that lucky either. Last year's tax return, we had it all filled out. We do it all electronically. The accountant was all ready to send it in. And then I found a royalty from one of my publishers that I had forgotten had come in. I didn't have it noted in my spreadsheet. And I called him in an absolute panic about that. And he stopped it and redid everything. And it wasn't like it was that much money, but I just freak out that I'm going to get caught. Vicki, did I hear you say somewhere you forgot you had a YouTube channel? You were busy doing other things. What have you been doing? You haven't been arting. What have you been doing? I love these little the fact that I can print a contact sheet and get these wonderful tiny pictures like this. They're great for tiny books, and they're great for those paper clips, for layering. There's some other little, it's one of the little make-aheads. There's a sneak peek. That's some of the little make-aheads that I've been working on. I think it was the Mushroom Market did some cute things. This is just the wrapping paper that comes in an Amazon box, but these little pictures are the perfect size to put on something like that. Pegboards. Oh, so you're organizing your studio even more. I feel like I finish a project and then I need to go reorganize something all over again because I've made a big mess or decided that I used more of one thing than another. You guys probably saw this if you saw the studio tour, but these are like one of my favorite organizational things, are these little tiny plastic boxes about the size of an Altoids tin. These are so cool. My little shelves, they fit perfectly in there. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Vicki, I can get OCD about organizing too, and then I forget I've got to go do the work, and then you make a mess when you're doing the work, and then you've got to get OCD about organizing again. I spent a week organizing beads after I spilled my seed beads. It was like, okay, so I need a better system. So I ordered some of those little jars you told me about, and I spent probably a week reorganizing all my beads. I haven't used them since I reorganized them, but they're all reorganized. Oh, Vicki like doodles. I love her doodles so much. Very mesmerizing to do those while you're watching TV or watching something else. Emma, I know. Have you printed on that brown paper yet? I love to print on it too. I print black and white photos on that paper, and it just gives them a really, really neat kind of look. And of course, it's a great base to use for snippets and collage bases, making fabric paper. Barbara, yeah, just the hanging out while you're working on something else. I know. And I don't know why, but this feels so much better than just hanging out while we're watching TV. I love my husband dearly, but you know, sometimes it was just like, okay, we've watched the baseball game, which I love, and then we watch TV for another couple of hours, and then I just want to go watch somebody's live and do something like this. Oh, so you've been copying some of her patterns for inspiration. That's great. Yeah, Vicki, I want everything to have a place too. That's the problem with moving in and renovating the house. As soon as we moved in, you might have ran into that too, is that nothing had a place when we moved in because we were sleeping in my studio and things were just in storage. They were in storage at my in-laws' house. They were in storage at a storage facility. They were in our tiny garage, and we had to move them out because the garage was leaking. And there was just stuff everywhere and nothing had a home. And I still do not have a home for my actual office-like things like postage stamps and envelopes and invoices. A Zen tag book. That's awesome. Hello, Malia. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you here. I started a little patterns book. I need to figure out where I put it in one of those really good places so I wouldn't lose it. And of course, I can't find it anywhere, but it's usually what I take with me when I go on retreat in November. It's just wonderful, small little size to work on the go. I probably need to go buy new black pins though, because I haven't been doing that for a while. So everything's probably all dried up. I was going to do some jelly printing. That's something else I want to see if I can actually manage to do live. But I need to make sure my paints aren't all dried up because I haven't opened my paint in over a year. Malaya, what are you working on lately? Anything fun? I'm looking forward to getting back to more videos next week. Barbara, yeah, same thing. I had a like one of those hard cases that you would put CDs in, and I didn't think it was too big, and I filled it up with a bunch of art stuff, but it was just too bulky. I like something that's just a little, it's like the size of index cards on a little spiral bound thing, and that's perfect. Liz is back. So if I had to make just one video tomorrow, do I make a make-ahead one, or do I do another one on where to find more copyright-free images? I might have time to only do one. Oh, live jelly would be fun. Okay, we'll give that a shot. I need to figure out when I have the best chance of having quiet in the house so that I could do something on a somewhat regular basis. But for a while, it might be just kind of random. Copyright images. Oh, Malay, you're going to be so hooked, I bet. So much fun. I bought them in a couple of different sizes. I use one like a rubber stamp. My small one's like a rubber stamp on top of the big one. Oh, and then Emma wants make-aheads. Well, I have make-ahead stuff is ready. I think I know where I want to. Maybe I'll see if I can get 2 of them done. Get them both uploaded soon. It's supposed to rain all weekend, so we'll be in the house all weekend. If I can make the videos while my husband's out of the house and it's quiet, then I can edit them when it's raining. Because once it's raining here, we just kind of hunker down and don't go anywhere. Make-aheads, Barbara, are these what other people call building your stash. When I'm making my journals, they're usually so big and they take so much ephemera, and I always forget. So I think it's not going to take me that long to make the journal. And it turns out that it takes me a long time because I have to make the journaling cards and the paper clips and the envelopes and all these different, little pieces of ephemera. So if you have a lot of these things made up ahead of time, like this is actually a make ahead because I've got all these little images now that are cut out. They've been stained around the edges, and I can put them on my paper clips or my other little layering pieces. And then I'll have a stash of them ready to go to when I work on my next journal. It does. It takes a lot of time. Oh, yes, not make a head. That would be somebody in sculpture. That would not be me. So Liz, are you doing a lot of ephemera videos too? Awesome. I am going to have to go check out. I've also been behind on watching videos. I didn't realize, it makes sense, but I didn't think about it. How much time making videos and editing videos takes away from you to be able to watch videos and talk about other people's videos. Yeah, remember when there was a trend, gosh, I guess it must have been back in the 70s when my kids were little, to make the soft sculpture dolls with nylons for their heads. I guess they don't even wear nylons anymore, do they? I used to love to make those. I wasn't very good at it, but I love to make them. Hi, Jubri. Welcome to my very first live. Yeah, they're just, I thought, when you got retired and you didn't have little kids running around anymore, that you're supposed to have all this time and you were going to get so much stuff done. I was so wrong. So wrong. I seem to have a lot of time, but I waste. Well, I don't say that I wasted. I just move slower now. I don't feel like I'm driven. It's not like I have to get out and get to work and go sit in a cubicle all day long, which was absolutely miserable. Oh, thank you, Jubri. I appreciate that. I was excited to give it a try. It took me a few tries. Right now I'm doing it with my phone. Which was why I was so excited to reach a few weeks ago to reach 1,000 subscribers, because you needed that to do it with the phone. And I just didn't have the time to figure out how to set it up with the webcam, but I'm going to try that one next. I might do just a little test one to make sure I can do it with that as well. Barbara, yeah, it's just my goals, but then we, bought this fixer-upper, and we moved in here 4 years ago this month. And we are working on basically every room in the house. We've got one more big project to join the house to the garage so that we can, get to the store, because it's just a little garage, but we store, the stuff because it's a little house, store stuff out there. But trying to do any kind of art while you've got renovations going on is nuts. Jew, I do too. I get freaked out. I didn't think anybody would sign on to watch me do this. So I, figured it was worth a try, but I wasn't going to feel heartbroken if nobody showed up, because I just feel like I'm all a fumble. And it's so funny because when I was writing and publishing, I used to have to do a lot of public speaking, and I would do school visits to go talk about my books to the kids, and I would go to writers conferences and I would teach there, and I had no problem doing that. There's something about the video camera that just sort of makes me feel all thumbs, or maybe it's just that I don't feel as confident in the art. Oh, Liz, thank you, thank you, thank you. You just made my day. Thank you. Barbara, yeah, that's it. And then there's that project creep, right? You start in one room and you think, okay, we're not really going to do anything in this next room. And then the contractor has this great idea and everything kind of scoots from room to room. Right now in the living room, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 different kinds of flooring in the living room. And a lot of that is just plywood floor because we haven't gotten to this room yet. We have to get a hearth on the fireplace. Yeah, so getting the house joined to the garage, that's the last big thing. My husband's office needs to get the flooring in it, needs to get painted, but that's not such a big deal. And then the kitchen, although it's been painted, we need to put a new countertop on, but it wasn't a priority right away. It's just trying to do the things that are going to make the house stay dry and safe first. Liz, it sure is project creep in the crafting world as well. At least I think I'm mostly over the habit that I had of watching a video and then feeling like I had to go out and buy everything that I saw in the video. That's why I have so much stuff, and why I really wanted to get the web shop going so that I could do a huge de-stash, because it's just, there's too much stuff. I won't live long enough to use all this stuff up, but I figure somebody else could use it. Oh, the master bathroom and bedroom. That was our big thing when we first moved in, Barbara. The master bathroom was bizarre. The sink in the master bathroom, I'm only 5 feet tall. My husband is 6 feet tall. The sink in the master bathroom hit me like at chest high. And the shower in the master bathroom hit me in like the nose. It was so low. It was crazy. And the hot water heater was in the middle of the master bathroom with PVC pipe leading the gas to the hot water heater. It was like an accident waiting to happen. Liz, I love all my stuff too, but I think I'm shifting some of the things that I want to work on. So, you know, if I've got too much of one thing, then maybe I can put together, I want to do ephemera packets and paper packets and fabric packets, because I'm working more with natural materials now, paper still, but also with natural materials. And I love having all that stuff at my beck and call, but you know, I can share. I don't have to be greedy. I can share. The reason I have so many images right now, besides leftovers from projects, is we went ahead and bought a laser printer, color laser printer. So of course I had to try it out, and I printed so much stuff. Barbara, yes. I don't know if it's brave or crazy. Joey, hi. I was thinking about you when I got up this morning. Thanks for joining. What time is it where you are? I was trying to figure out time changes everywhere. I knew it was late in England and it was early in Australia. Liz, I am so in love with a color laser printer, and I had to change the ink yesterday, and whoever designed the ink tray was a genius, because you just pull it out and lift it up. There was no mess, no fuss. I am very happy with the color laser printer. The only thing is, mine does not like to print on fabric or really thin stuff, but I can take it downtown to one of the print shops there, and they can, if I want to do something special, they can print. My old black and white laser printer will print on the funny papers, but the color one doesn't. Malia, did you get any of those instant ink programs? Malia, yeah, that was me, 25 years in the writing business, working on children's books. So if you you can look me up on Amazon. I think there's probably most of the stuff is out of print now, but I think the books still show up on Amazon. What kind of writing do you like to do? Oh, 10:30, Joey. Okay, so it's the end of the day for you too. That would be my prime time to watch videos. The end of the day, I curl up in bed with my iPad and try and watch the videos. Well, I like the idea where, you know, you put the fabric with the freezer paper to the other paper. And I thought that that might be something fun to try, but I think I'll just stick with doing it other ways. Malia, I'm actually thinking about buying a cheap HP just to get the instant ink program so that I have a whole bunch of silk sheets that I would like to print on left from when I had inkjet printers. But my frustration with the inkjet is if I didn't use it every couple of days, everything got all dried up. Malia, that's fabulous. I did poetry a lot. If you go to my writing website, you can read a lot of my writing world over there at just susantaylorbrown.com. It's got all the stuff about my books. And I used to teach poetry to kids that were in the juvenile detention centers. And so that was towards the end of my writing career. That was what I was doing the most of. And it was one of the hardest jobs I ever had, and one of the most gratifying at the same time. I would go in 2 or 3 times a week to these teenagers that were in lockup. And the very first time that I did it, I did not know that the kids were all in there for murder. They didn't tell me until the end of the program. So I learned an awful lot, got a lot of inspiration for doing some more writing. Funny poems are so popular, really, really popular. Emma, I'm so happy that you came by. Thank you so much. You go get some sleep and have some good dreams, okay? I appreciate you coming by and joining my first live. Liz, doesn't yours dry up or are you shipping so much that you're printing every day? Because mine dried up like after a few days. Malia, I learned more than I really wanted to know sometimes. The very first session that I was going to, it was with a group of 16 and 17-year-old boys. And, you know, they did not want to do any poetry. Night, Joey. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. And back then my hair was so long I could sit on it. And I always wear really long dangly earrings. And as I was walking down the hall towards the office, somebody pulled me aside and told me that I couldn't go through until I fixed my hair and took out my earrings. They said my hair was too long and the guys could just grab a hold of it and throw me against the wall. And so I was going to have to pin my hair up and not having any jewelry. Oh, Liz, you ship something every day. So what kind of things are you shipping? Are you shipping artsy things or are you doing other stuff that you're shipping? Bye, Joey. Night, night. Malaya, I was. And then probably, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th week that I was in there, I asked a question and one of the kids got really upset and he dove across the table at me. And I have never been so grateful that there was a guard in the room, except for then, because this guard was faster than the kid and he grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and pulled him off of the table before he could get to me. So yeah, that first time I learned a lot. I was a lot better at it when I went in the next times. But you know, by the end of it, there was always one kid that you could tell that just really wanted to write, that the writing was going to help him work through some things. Jubri, you mean these little tiny things that I'm working on right now? These are normal size prints that I printed as a contact sheet. And on Windows, I don't know how to do it on Mac, but in Windows, it's just another option to print. If you're printing wallet pictures or you're printing 5x7s, you can print a contact sheet and you get 35 images on one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So you get these wonderful little tiny images that are perfect for small books that you're working on, or I use them for my paper clips. They're great for decorating in envelopes. Journal to bliss. Yes. Yeah, if they let it, that's the key. If they would let it, let the writing take them someplace. So it became quite challenging to find what kind of prompts I could give them. We would always start off the session with, I would put up a word like happy, and they would have to use the five senses to describe what happy smelled like and what it sounded like and what it tasted like. And then we would like brainstorm on the board, and then they would take everything that was up on the board and write a poem from it. Hi, Joe. Yes, my very first live. I am so happy that people showed up. It's sort of like, what if you gave a party and nobody came? You never know. I have no idea even how long I've been here. Interesting. I have to figure that out. There's so much to learn about going live. You think you know your video stuff, and then you do a live and you have all these more new things to learn. Tea cards, though, I was thinking people have been talking a lot about tea cards lately, and there are a couple places online that you can get them. And I thought maybe I would do that in my next copyright-free images thing, is to show you where to find the tea cards. Sometimes it's a matter of what you put in the search thing. Malaya, yes, that's it. What sounds, what taste. Once you start talking about the different sensory things, and you don't try and be, well, it tastes like, chocolate. Happy might taste like raindrops in the sun after you just saw your best friend smile at you. I mean, these kids came up with amazing descriptions. So I had lots and lots of prompts. And if you go to my old website, there's a whole series of journal entries I did about going and working with these kids. It was quite an educational thing, but it was exhausting, and I was glad when it was done. 41 minutes. Thank you, Valerie. Malaya, yes, you have to really bring it down to a simple level so that it's not intimidating. And that's the thing, poetry, people hear poetry and they're scared of it. They're absolutely terrified of it. And when they would write a beautiful sentence and they'd say, well, here I wrote this, but it's not a poem, I'd say, yes, it is. If you're using language in a wonderful, creative way, it's a poem. I also discovered the more constraints they had, like doing a haiku or doing a poem that had each line was using the five senses, the constraints were good. It helped them out. Okay, Liz, I can tell I'm going to have to go back and look some more about what you're... Oh, I do. You're the one that's doing... Sorry, I forgot, Liz. You're doing the live in a little bit. So that's awesome. So you have something that you're doing what I think I'm heading towards. So I might be chatting with you offline here one of these days. Yeah, it's the supplies and things. If I can just reduce my supplies, would be nice. I might be able to find things more. I have a ridiculous amount. I'm almost afraid to admit it. I'll have to take a picture of it to show a ridiculous amount of fussy cup napkins, because for some reason I just went crazy with napkins. And then I decided I wanted to cut out all the birds and the butterflies. And that was my TV project for, I don't know, probably months that I sat and did that. I will never use all those things up. And they're so much fun to use them when they're fussy cut because they blend into the background. I don't know if they'll all be paper clips. A lot of them will be paper clips because that's something that I would like to stock and have available for sale. But I think I'll do some of these little things, just little layered pieces that I can then put on envelopes and journaling cards. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to have to think of something else that I can do with all these little things. But I figured this was an easy thing to do while I was chatting for the first time. Maybe I'll try jelly printing. That would be really good. I need to do a whole lot of painted papers. So if I could manage to do that. Malia, it's nuts how many napkins I have. I cannot believe how I have 3 plastic bins of napkins that have not been fussy cut. And then you add in all the fussy cut ones. I'm going to sneeze and I don't have a mute button. So thank you for the thumbs up and thank you for asking for them, Juby. I appreciate it. Oh, belly bands. Yes, I should do some belly bands. Some little, I have a make ahead I was going to do on a different type of belly band. So that might be a good thing to do. Well, I am just very grateful to everybody for stopping by to say hello. And I will probably finish up this little bit here and then go do a few other things and then be able to catch Liz's live at 3 o'clock. Let's see. Oh, so Liz is live in like 15 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, I like belly bands too. And I like these things for making little books. Like if you're doing little glue books, these little contact images are perfect for that. Well, maybe I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye here. So I've got to take the dog out and run around a little bit. And I would like to go over and catch Liz live. You can, Liz for a Day is going to be live in 15 minutes, I think she said. Malaya, thank you. I was actually surprised that Zoe wasn't barking through the whole thing, but I think she's kind of tired because she played with a friend. Thank you so much for stopping by, everybody. I will try this again, and you all have a great and creative afternoon. And let's go see Liz at in about 15 minutes here. 15 minutes on the dot. Thank you. Bye for now.